She walked past him every single day, never looking, never seeing. Just another invisible face, keeping her perfect world running. But when Claire Whitmore saw the janitor walk into that charity gala in a tailored suit, her entire reality shattered in an instant. Marcus Hale wasn't the help. He was the owner, the donor, the man she'd dismissed without a second thought. What followed was a love story that would force Claire to confront the ugliest parts of herself, including the one devastating moment of doubt that nearly destroyed everything they'd built. When a missing bracelet threatened his reputation and whispers of scandal echoed through the office, she had to choose. Protect her image or fight for the man who'd taught her what it really means to see someone. This is the story of pride, prejudice, and a second chance that almost never happened. A love built not on perfection, but on the courage to show up when it mattered most. If you're watching this, hit subscribe and tell me where you're from, because you need to hear how this unfolds. The coffee maker in the office lobby let out its final gurgle at 7:28 a.m. Claire Whitmore grabbed her cup and turned toward the elevator bank. Her navy heels clicked against the marble floor in a steady rhythm. She had 32 minutes before the sponsor deck review, and Ellen expected perfection. A yellow caution sign blocked her usual path. Water spread across the floor in a wide arc, catching the morning light from the tall windows. A man in dark coveralls pushed a mop across the spill, his movements smooth and practiced. Claire sidestepped around the wet area, her shoulder bag swinging. "Thank you," she said, not quite looking at him. The man glanced up. He had deep brown skin and tired eyes that suggested an early start to the day. "No problem. Watch your step." She nodded and kept walking. The elevator doors opened immediately, and she stepped inside, already pulling out her phone to check the latest donor numbers. The man with the mop disappeared from her mind before she reached the third floor. Her office sat in the corner of the marketing department, with windows that overlooked the city's downtown core. Claire set her coffee down and opened her laptop. The gala was 3 days away. 3 days to finalize seating charts, confirm catering counts, and make sure every major donor felt personally welcomed. She loved this work, loved the way a perfect event could make people feel seen and inspired. Her family had hosted charity dinners for as long as she could remember, but those felt stiff and formal. This was different. This was hers. "Morning, Claire." Jade Morales appeared in the doorway, holding 2 bagels wrapped in paper. She tossed one onto Claire's desk. "Eat. You get that weird focused look when you skip breakfast." Claire caught the bagel and smiled. "It's not weird. It's professional." "It's weird." Jade dropped into the chair across from her. "So, Ryan texted you last night?" Claire's smile faded. "He wants to know if I'll save him a dance at the gala." "And you said?" "I said I'd be busy working." Jade studied her for a moment. "You know he's going to show up in that perfect suit and act like nothing happened." "I know." Claire unwrapped the bagel but didn't take a bite. "But we're done. We've been done for 6 months. He needs to accept that." "Does he know why you ended it?" Claire looked out the window. "He knows enough." The truth sat heavier than she wanted to admit. She'd ended their engagement the night she watched him snap at a restaurant server for bringing the wrong wine. The cruelty in his voice, the way he'd looked at the young man like he was nothing, it had turned her stomach. When she confronted Ryan later, he'd laughed, said she was too sensitive, said people in service jobs needed to learn their place. She'd given the ring back the next morning. "Earth to Claire." Jade waved a hand. "You okay?" "Fine." Claire took a bite of the bagel. "Just thinking about the schedule." At 10:15, she walked the 14th floor with her tablet, checking the final setup for the gala's silent auction. The floor had been cleared of desks and cubicles, leaving a wide open space ready for transformation. White tablecloths would arrive tomorrow. The catering team would set up Thursday afternoon. A ladder stood near the far wall. The man from the lobby, Marcus, his name tag read, adjusted an overhead light fixture while 2 other crew members worked on outlets nearby. Claire made notes on her tablet. The signage needed to go by the elevator doors. The donor wall would stand near the windows. "Excuse me?" Marcus climbed down from the ladder, wiping his hands on a cloth. "You're with the gala planning?" "Yes. Claire Whitmore, marketing director." "Marcus Hale." He didn't extend his hand, probably because his were still dusty. "We'll have all the electrical work done by tomorrow afternoon. My crew will do a final check Thursday morning, then we'll be out of your way." His voice was calm, professional. He spoke clearly, meeting her eyes with quiet confidence. "That works perfectly," Claire said. "The decorators come in Thursday at 2. We'll be done by 1:30. He glanced at his crew. "Anything else you need while we're here?" "No, this is great. Thank you." He nodded and returned to his work. Claire finished her walkthrough and headed back downstairs. That evening, she stood in her apartment, laying her gown across the bed. Navy silk with a simple cut. Her mother had wanted her to wear something more dramatic, but Claire preferred elegance over flash. The silvery heels sat on the floor nearby, waiting. She picked up the donor list and skimmed it one more time. Pharmaceutical executives, real estate developers, a tech entrepreneur who'd made millions on an app, and near the bottom of page 2, a new name, Hale Facilities Management. Contribution level, 2 nursing scholarships. Claire frowned. The name felt familiar, but she couldn't place it. Probably someone Ellen had recruited. She set the list aside and checked her phone. Ryan had texted again. "See you Thursday. Looking forward to it." She didn't respond. Thursday arrived with clear skies and perfect weather. Claire spent the afternoon managing last-minute details, confirming that the photographer knew which donors to prioritize, making sure the sound system worked properly. By 6 o'clock, she stood in the ballroom foyer in her navy gown, greeting guests as they arrived. The space looked beautiful. Soft lighting, string music drifting from the main room, flowers arranged in low, elegant clusters. Ryan appeared at 6:35, wearing a charcoal suit that probably cost more than most people's monthly rent. His smile was bright and practiced. "Claire, you look stunning." "Thank you." She kept her tone polite but distant. "The silent auction is through those doors if you're interested." "I'm more interested in that dance you promised." "I didn't promise anything, Ryan." His smile never wavered. "We'll see." He drifted toward the bar, and Claire exhaled slowly. Jade appeared at her elbow, wearing a burgundy dress that suited her perfectly. "Want me to accidentally spill wine on him?" Jade whispered. Tempting, but no. More guests arrived. Claire greeted them, guided them toward name tags, made small talk about the scholarship fund. Ellen moved through the crowd with practiced grace, thanking sponsors and introducing board members. At 7, Claire glanced toward the entrance and saw a man in a tailored charcoal suit speaking with one of the board members. He stood with easy confidence, his posture relaxed but attentive. Something about the way he held himself caught her attention. Then he turned slightly, and she saw his profile. Her breath stopped. Marcus. But not Marcus in coveralls. Not Marcus with a mop. This Marcus wore a perfectly fitted suit. His hair was freshly trimmed. He spoke to the board member like an equal, gesturing toward the silent auction with genuine interest. "That's..." Claire's voice came out as a whisper. "That's Marcus?" Jade followed her gaze. "Who?" "The janitor. The guy who was cleaning the lobby Monday morning." Jade's eyebrows shot up. "Honey, that man is not a janitor. That's a man who knows exactly where he stands. The MC took the microphone at 7:10. Good evening, everyone. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our newest sponsor. Marcus Hale, owner of Hale Facilities Management, has generously provided funding for 2 full nursing scholarships. Marcus, would you stand? Applause filled the room. Marcus stood, nodding with quiet humility. He didn't smile broadly or wave, just acknowledged the recognition and sat back down. Claire felt heat rise in her cheeks. Owner. He owned the company. All week, she'd walked past him like he was invisible, like he didn't matter. Ryan appeared beside her. Well, that's interesting. Role reversal, huh? Janitor to donor? He chuckled, sipping his drink. Claire's stomach twisted. Don't what? It's kind of funny when you think about it. It's not funny at all. She moved away from him, weaving through the crowd toward the side corridor. She needed a moment, needed to breathe. Marcus appeared near the refreshments table a few minutes later. Claire gathered her courage and approached him. Marcus? He turned. His expression was polite but guarded. Up close, she could see the quality of his suit, the careful knot of his tie. He looked completely at ease. Ms. Whitmore. She swallowed. I owe you an apology. I made assumptions all week. I shouldn't have. He studied her for a moment. You weren't rude, just busy. That's generous, but I was dismissive. She met his eyes. I'm sorry. Apology accepted. He paused. Can I ask you something? Of course. Why does it bother you? The question surprised her. Because I treated you like you were invisible. That's not who I want to be. Something in his expression softened slightly. Most people don't notice. Or care. I should have noticed. And I do care. They stood in silence for a moment. The string music drifted through the open doors, mixing with conversation and laughter. Sam Cooke, Marcus said suddenly. What? That's Sam Cooke playing. Bring it on home to me. Most people your age don't know the old soul records. Claire smiled. My grandmother loved Motown and soul. She'd play vinyl every Sunday while she cooked. Sam Cooke, Aretha Franklin, Otis Redding. Your grandmother had good taste. She did. Claire felt the tension in her shoulders ease. Do you collect vinyl? Small collection, nothing fancy. But yeah, I like having the actual records. There's something different about the sound. I know exactly what you mean. Ellen appeared then, moving toward them with purpose. Marcus, I wanted to thank you personally. Your crew's work this week was impeccable. Every deadline met, every detail handled perfectly. That's my job, Marcus said simply, but I appreciate you saying so. It's more than a job when you care about quality. Ellen glanced at Claire. I'm pairing you two for next week's 14th floor refresh. Marcus will handle the structural work. Claire will manage the aesthetic updates. Claire nodded. Sounds good. Excellent. Ellen moved away to greet another donor. Marcus looked at Claire. Guess we'll be seeing more of each other. Guess so. The terrace doors opened nearby, letting in a cool breeze. Ryan appeared in the doorway, scanning the crowd. His eyes landed on Claire. Save me a dance, Claire? He called across the space. Marcus stepped back immediately. I should let you. You don't have to go. But he was already moving away, disappearing into the crowd with the same quiet efficiency he'd shown all week. Claire watched him go, frustration curling in her chest. She didn't want to dance with Ryan, didn't want to play whatever game he thought they were still playing, but she also didn't want to make a scene. She crossed to the ballroom where Ryan waited with that perfect smile. The band was playing something slow and forgettable. She let him take her hand, let him guide her onto the floor, and counted the seconds until the song would end. You're tense, Ryan murmured. Long day. You look beautiful, though. Really beautiful. She didn't respond. Over his shoulder, she caught sight of Marcus standing near the gallery alcove, talking with Jade. Both of them laughed at something, the sound genuine and easy. When the dance ended, Claire excused herself. I need to check on the photographer. She didn't check on the photographer. Instead, she found herself drifting toward the gallery alcove, where Marcus and Jade were still talking. And then the entire sprinkler system activated during the board meeting, Jade was saying, laughing. Water everywhere. Conference table ruined. It was a disaster. Marcus grinned. Did you at least get the building evacuated? Eventually, but not before 3 board members got completely soaked. Jade noticed Claire approaching. Oh, hey, we were just sharing facility horror stories. Sounds entertaining, Claire said. Jade's phone buzzed. She checked it and grimaced. I need to take this. Be right back. She disappeared into the hallway. Claire and Marcus stood alone in the alcove. The gallery walls were lined with photographs from previous galas. Smiling faces, champagne glasses, moments of celebration frozen in time. Your friend's funny, Marcus said. She keeps me honest. Claire leaned against the wall. Can I ask why you work hands-on? I mean, you own the company. You could just manage from an office. I could. He was quiet for a moment. But I started the company 6 years ago with a van and a toolkit. Built it from nothing. If I stop doing the actual work, I lose touch with what my crews face every day. Standards slip. That makes sense. Plus, I like the work. There's something satisfying about fixing things, making spaces better. Claire nodded. I get that. I love events because when they're done right, people feel something. They connect. It matters. So, we're both particular about quality? Seems like it. They talked for another 20 minutes, the conversation flowing easily. Marcus told her about growing up in the city, learning building maintenance from his uncle, saving every dollar to start his own company. Claire found herself sharing things she usually kept private, how her family had money, but also had expectations she constantly pushed against. How she'd ended an engagement because the man she'd planned to marry had shown cruelty to people he thought were beneath him. She didn't mention Ryan's name, but something in Marcus's eyes suggested he understood anyway. At 10:10, the gala began winding down. Guests collected coats, called cars, said their goodbyes. Claire walked Marcus to the valet lane outside. The night air was cool and fresh after the warmth of the ballroom. Thank you, she said. For tonight, for letting me apologize. You didn't need to apologize, but I'm glad you did. He smiled, and for the first time it reached his eyes completely. See you at the office, Ms. Whitmore? Claire, just Claire. See you at the office, Claire. He climbed into a modest sedan, practical, well-maintained, and drove away. Claire stood on the curb for a long moment, watching the taillights disappear into traffic. Something had shifted tonight, something she didn't quite have words for yet. She pulled out her phone and saw a text from Ryan. See you at the office, Claire. No, not Ryan. The text was from Marcus. Wait. She reread it. No, Marcus had said that out loud, not texted it. The actual text was from Ryan. That was nice. Let's do lunch next week. She deleted it without responding. Friday morning arrived bright and cold. Claire walked into the conference room at 8:20 to find Ellen already there, reviewing project schedules on her laptop. Good morning, Ellen said. I want to finalize the 14th floor refresh timeline. Marcus should be here any minute. Marcus arrived at 8:25, wearing jeans and a work shirt with the Hale Facilities logo. He nodded to both of them and took a seat. Timeline straightforward, he said, opening a folder. 3 weeks. Week 1 is structural. Outlets, lighting, some minor wall repairs. Week 2 is painting and flooring. Week 3 is furniture installation and final touches. Claire pulled up her notes. I need to coordinate with you on color choices and layout. Can we schedule walkthroughs? Monday morning work for you? 9 o'clock? Perfect. Ellen closed her laptop. Excellent. Claire, you'll be the point person for our side. Marcus, you'll handle your crews. Keep me updated on any issues. They both nodded. As Marcus stood to leave, Jade appeared in the doorway. Claire, can I borrow you for a second? Sure. Claire followed her into the hallway. Jade's eyes sparkled with mischief. Okay, chemistry alert. You two were practically glowing at each other. We were talking about work. Uh-huh. And I'm the Queen of England. Jade lowered her voice. He's cute. He's clearly smart. He seems like a genuinely good guy. And the way you smiled when he was talking about vinyl records? Girl, please. Heat rose in Claire's cheeks. It's complicated. Everything's complicated. The question is whether it's worth it. Claire didn't have an answer for that. Not yet. That evening, she stood at her apartment window, palm pressed against the cool glass. The city stretched out below, lights beginning to glow as the sun set. Monday would bring another walkthrough, another conversation, another chance to either build something or protect herself from getting hurt. She'd spent 6 months rebuilding after Ryan. 6 months learning to trust her own judgment again. The last thing she needed was to jump into something new without thinking it through. But Marcus didn't feel like jumping. He felt like steady ground. Don't get this wrong, she thought. Please don't get this wrong. Below, traffic flowed in its usual Friday evening rush. People heading home, people heading out, everyone moving toward something. Claire pulled her phone from her pocket and typed a message. Looking forward to Monday. She deleted it, typed again. Thanks for the conversation last night. Deleted that too. Finally settled on, see you Monday at 9. She hit send before she could second-guess herself. 3 dots appeared immediately. Then, see you then. Simple, professional, safe. But her heart beat a little faster anyway. She set the phone down and returned to the window. The city lights grew brighter as darkness settled in. Somewhere out there, Marcus was probably finishing his own Friday evening. Maybe listening to one of those old soul records. Maybe thinking about Monday too? Or maybe she was reading too much into everything. Claire closed the curtains and turned on the lamp by her couch. She had weekend errands to run, a yoga class to attend, groceries to buy, regular life, normal life. But Sunday evening found her drafting a playlist: Sam Cooke, Aretha Franklin, Al Green, Marvin Gaye, before she could convince herself not to. She saved it, but didn't send it. That felt like too much too soon. Monday would come soon enough, and with it, whatever happened next. Monday morning felt different. Claire arrived at the office early, carrying 2 cups of black coffee. She took the elevator to the 14th floor and found Marcus already there, measuring a wall section with a tape measure. Morning, she said, extending one of the cups. I wasn't sure how you take it, so I went with black. He looked surprised, but accepted the coffee. Black's perfect, thank you. They spent the next 2 hours walking the space, discussing outlet placement and lighting angles. Marcus explained everything clearly, never talking down to her but making sure she understood the technical details. Claire appreciated that. Some contractors acted like clients were idiots. Marcus treated her like a partner. This wall needs 3 new outlets, he said, tapping the drywall. Code requires them every 12 feet in office space. Right now you've only got 2. Will that delay the timeline? Not if we handle it this week. He made a note on his tablet. Anything else you're worried about? Claire hesitated, then decided to be honest. I come from money. My family has a lot of it, and that comes with expectations about who I should be. what I should want. Sometimes I feel like I'm disappointing them just by being myself. Marcus studied her quietly. That sounds exhausting. It is. For what it's worth, you seem pretty clear on who you are, at least from what I've seen. Something warm settled in her chest. Thank you for saying that. They worked until 11:30, when Claire accidentally knocked over a creamer container while reaching for her tablet. The white liquid spread across the landing where they'd been reviewing floor plans. Oh no, I'm sorry. Claire grabbed napkins from her bag. Marcus was already kneeling, using his work rag to mop up the spill. It's just creamer, nothing broken. She knelt beside him, helping with the napkins. Their hands brushed as they worked. Both of them went still for a second, then kept cleaning like nothing had happened. But something had happened. Claire felt it in the air between them. A charge, a possibility, a door opening just slightly. Marcus stood first, tossing the rag into his supply bag. We should break for lunch. Meet back here at 1:15? Sounds good. After lunch, they finalized the schedule. Marcus confirmed his crew would start work Tuesday morning. Claire walked him through her color preferences: soft grays, warm whites, nothing stark or cold. You want the space to feel welcoming? He said. It wasn't a question. Exactly. At 6:10 p.m., they wrapped up for the day. Claire headed to the parking garage and sat in her car for a moment before starting the engine. Her phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. Great teamwork today. She smiled and typed back. Same, thanks for the patience with my questions. They weren't annoying. They were smart. She stared at the message for a long moment, then started her car and drove home. Tuesday evening, Claire left the office at 6:35, later than usual. She'd stayed to finalize donor thank you letters and lost track of time. When she reached the lobby, she found Marcus near the entrance, locking up his supply closet. Long day? He asked. Very. You? The usual. He paused. There's food trucks by the river, if you're hungry. Claire's heart did something complicated. I could eat. They walked the 3 blocks to the Riverside Park, where half a dozen food trucks clustered near the walking path. The smell of grilling meat and spices filled the air. People sat on benches, enjoying the mild evening. A guitarist played softly near the water. Marcus ordered tacos from a truck with hand-painted panels. Claire got the same. They found a bench and ate while watching the river flow past, dark and steady. Can I ask you something? Claire said. Go ahead. Why did you donate to the nursing scholarship specifically? Marcus was quiet for a moment, chewing thoughtfully. My sister, Tasha. She's in nursing school, works her tail off. I wanted to help students like her, people who work hard but don't have family money to fall back on. That's really generous. It's not about being generous. It's about remembering what it's like to struggle. He glanced at her. You probably can't relate to that part. Claire could have been offended. Instead, she appreciated his directness. You're right. I've never worried about money, but I've worried about other things. About being taken seriously. About people only seeing my family's name instead of my work. That's fair. They talked about music then, trading favorite artists and forgotten songs. Marcus liked Marvin Gaye and Curtis Mayfield. Claire loved Etta James and Nina Simone. They discovered a shared appreciation for old vinyl, for the warmth of analog sound. I made a playlist, Claire admitted. After the Gala, Soul and Motown, but I didn't send it because I thought it might be weird. Marcus smiled. Send it. I'd like to hear what you picked. Really? Really. At 7:40, they walked along the riverside path. The sun had set, leaving the sky painted in shades of purple and deep blue. Streetlights flickered on one by one. Their fingers brushed as they walked. Neither of them pulled away, but neither of them reached for more. Just the occasional contact, light and careful. "We should talk about boundaries," Marcus said finally. "Okay. At work, we keep things professional, no question. But outside?" He trailed off. "I don't know. What do you think?" "I think we try, slowly, no pressure." Claire looked at the water. "Trust is hard for me right now. My last relationship ended badly." "Trust is hard for me always," Marcus said quietly. "I've spent a lot of years being invisible, being underestimated. It shapes how you see people." "I get that. I really do." They walked in comfortable silence for a while longer. Then Marcus checked his watch. "I should head home. Early start tomorrow." "Me too." They parted ways at the parking garage with a simple, "See you soon," and no physical contact beyond that brief brush of fingers. But Claire felt it anyway, the beginning of something real. By Wednesday morning, the office was buzzing. Claire noticed it immediately. Whispers in the break room. Glances from coworkers. Nothing obvious, but enough to make her shoulders tense. Jade cornered her at 10 a.m. in the marketing bullpen. "People are talking." "About what?" "About you and Marcus. Someone saw you two at the food trucks. Now there's speculation." Claire's stomach dropped. "We just grabbed dinner, that's all." "I know that. You know that. But people love drama." Jade lowered her voice. "Just be careful. Office relationships get complicated fast." At 10:45, Ellen called Claire into her office. Claire's palms went damp, but Ellen's expression was calm. "I've heard some chatter. I want to be clear. I trust your judgment. You're a professional. As long as the work stays clean and the project moves forward, I don't see an issue." Relief flooded through Claire. "Thank you. That said, appearances matter. Keep boundaries visible at work. Save the personal stuff for after hours." "Understood." That afternoon, Claire texted Marcus. "Can we meet after work? Quick conversation." He replied, "Loading dock, 5:45? At exactly 5:45, Claire found him by his van, organizing supplies. She explained the office gossip, Ellen's feedback, and her own concerns. Marcus listened without interrupting. When she finished, he nodded. "So we keep it professional here?" "No problem. I was already planning that." "And outside?" "Outside. We keep trying, if you want to." "I do." His expression softened. "Then we will, but slow. Like you said." Claire felt her shoulders relax. "Thank you for understanding." "Of course." He closed the van doors. "Can I ask you something?" "Anything." "Would you be okay meeting my sister? No pressure? But Tasha's protective, and if we're going to keep seeing each other, she'll want to know who you are." Claire's heart jumped. Meeting family felt significant, but she also understood the request. "I'd like that." "Saturday morning? There's a cafe near her apartment. Casual." "Okay, text me the address." Saturday morning arrived too quickly. Claire changed outfits 3 times before settling on jeans and a simple sweater. Nothing too fancy. Nothing that screamed, trying too hard. The cafe was small and warm, with mismatched chairs and local art on the walls. Tasha arrived at 11:05, wearing scrubs with a jacket thrown over them. She was petite and sharp-eyed, with the same careful watchfulness Claire recognized in Marcus. "Claire." "Hi." Tasha's handshake was firm. "Thanks for meeting me." "Of course." They ordered coffee and found a corner table. Tasha got right to the point. "Marcus doesn't let people in easily," she said. "He's been burned before. People who saw him as the help. People who thought they were better than him. So, I need to know, what are your intentions?" Claire appreciated the directness. "Honest answer? I like him. I want to get to know him better. I'm not looking for a fling or a story to tell my friends." I'm looking for something real, if that's possible. And when it gets hard? When people judge you for dating a black man who owns a facilities company instead of sitting in some corner office? I've already dealt with judgment my whole life, Claire said quietly. From my family, from people who think I should want certain things. I'm done living for other people's approval. Tasha studied her for a long moment. What happened with your ex? I ended our engagement when I saw him treat a server like garbage. He thought people in service jobs were beneath him. I couldn't marry someone like that. Something shifted in Tasha's expression. Marcus told me you apologized to him after the gala for making assumptions. I did, because I was wrong. Most people wouldn't have bothered. Most people should bother more. Tasha smiled for the first time. Okay, I like you, but I'm watching. If you hurt him, we're going to have problems. That's fair. They talked for another hour. Tasha told stories about Marcus teaching himself building maintenance from library books, about him working 3 jobs to start his company, about him paying her nursing school tuition without ever making her feel small for needing help. Claire listened, her respect for Marcus growing with every story. At 12:20, they said goodbye on the sidewalk. Tasha pulled Marcus into a hug. He'd been waiting in his car nearby, then turned to Claire. We'll see, Tasha said. But her tone was warmer now, almost friendly. After she left, Marcus walked Claire to her car. That went okay? She's tough, but fair. Claire smiled. I like her. She liked you too, I can tell. How? She hugged me. If she was worried, she would have just walked away. Claire laughed. Good to know I passed. You did more than pass. Sunday evening, Claire sat in her living room and recorded a voice note for Marcus. It felt easier than typing out everything she wanted to say. Hey, I've been thinking about what you said at the river, about trust being hard. I wanted you to know why my engagement ended. My ex, Ryan? He's the guy who kept bothering me at the gala. One night at dinner, he was horrible to our server. Just mean for no reason. When I called him out, he said service people needed to know their place. That's when I knew I couldn't marry him. I gave the ring back the next day. Anyway, I wanted you to know that. I wanted you to understand why I care about seeing people. Really seeing them. She sent it before she could second-guess herself. Marcus's response came 20 minutes later. Also a voice note. Thank you for telling me that. It means a lot. I had something similar happen once. I was in a meeting about a big contract. Still new to the business. Someone asked me to get coffee for everyone, assuming I was an assistant, not the owner. When I corrected them, they laughed like it was a joke. They still gave me the contract, but I never forgot how small they tried to make me feel. So yeah. I get it. I get why you apologized, and I'm glad you did. Claire listened to the message twice. His voice was steady and honest, no walls up, no pretense. She opened her music app and finally sent him the playlist she'd made. 43 songs, a mix of classics and deep cuts. His response, "This is perfect. Thank you." That night, she fell asleep imagining both of them listening to the same songs in different parts of the city, connected by something small but meaningful. Monday morning shattered the peace. At 9:40, Claire's phone buzzed with a message in the team chat. Anonymous sender. Check vendor renewals tied to Claire W. Her blood went cold. Within minutes, Jade appeared at her desk. Did you see it? Yeah. What does it mean? It means someone's implying I'm giving Marcus preferential treatment because we're whatever we are. Ellen called Claire into her office at 10:15. Marcus was already there, standing near the window with his arms crossed. I got the message too, Ellen said. And I want to be clear. This is exactly the kind of nonsense I won't tolerate. Claire, you've been transparent about the timeline. Marcus's company won the bid before you two ever spoke outside of work. The numbers support that. I can recuse my company from the next bid, Marcus said quietly. Keep things clean. No. Claire's voice was firmer than she expected. We're not letting fear make our decisions. The process was fair. The work is good. We're not running. Ellen nodded. I agree. We'll document everything, keep the process transparent, and move forward. No drama. But as they left Ellen's office, Claire caught the look on Marcus's face. Guarded, careful. The same expression he'd worn at the gala before she apologized. She wanted to reach for his hand. Wanted to tell him it would be okay. But they were at work, and boundaries mattered. We'll get through this, she said quietly. He nodded, but didn't quite meet her eyes. Tuesday afternoon brought the audit. Every year, the office inventoried items used at major events, decorations, equipment, donor gifts. It was routine, boring, until it wasn't. At 2:30 p.m., Claire stood in the storage closet with 2 other team members, counting items from the gala. Everything matched the list. Tables, linens, centerpieces. Then they reached the donor appreciation gifts, custom bracelets given to major sponsors. There should have been 38, with 35 distributed at the event and 3 kept as backups. They found only 2 backups. One's missing, the inventory coordinator said, frowning. Did we give out an extra? Claire checked her records. No, 35 went out at the gala, confirmed by the distribution sheet. Then where's the 3rd backup? Silence filled the storage closet, the kind of silence that felt heavy and wrong. Someone from accounting spoke up. Didn't Marcus's crew handle teardown the night of the gala? Claire's stomach dropped. They helped pack equipment, yes, but everything was logged as it went into storage. Still, might want to double-check. The words felt casual, but the implication wasn't casual at all. Claire wanted to defend Marcus immediately, wanted to snap that his crew would never steal anything, but a tiny, horrible part of her hesitated. Just for a heartbeat, just long enough to wonder. That hesitation, that single moment of doubt, was written all over her face. And Marcus, walking past the storage room right then, saw it. Their eyes met. His expression went completely blank. Then he turned and walked away. Claire stood frozen, the inventory sheet crumpling in her hand. I'll handle this, she said quietly. There's an explanation. There has to be. But Marcus was already gone. Down the stairs, out to the loading dock, into his van. By 5:15 p.m., he'd left the building. He didn't respond to her texts. That night, Claire sat on her couch, replaying the moment over and over. The way his face had closed. The way he'd looked at her like she was a stranger. She'd hesitated. For one second, she'd doubted him, and he'd seen it. She pressed her palms against her eyes and tried not to cry. This was exactly what trust looked like when it broke. Fast and sharp and devastating. Her phone buzzed. For a wild second, she hoped it was Marcus. But it was just Jade. You okay? Claire typed back. No, but I will be. I have to fix this. She just didn't know how yet. Wednesday morning felt like walking through glass. Claire arrived at the office early and took the elevator to the 14th floor, where Marcus's crew was already working. She could hear the drill, the low murmur of voices, the sounds of progress. Marcus stood near the far wall, reviewing something on his tablet. When she approached, he looked up. His expression was professional, polite, completely empty of warmth. Morning, he said. We're on schedule. Should have the electrical finished by end of day. Marcus, is there something work-related you need? The word stung like a slap. No, but I wanted to talk about yesterday. Nothing to talk about. I saw what I saw. He returned his attention to the tablet. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do. Claire stood there for a long moment, words tangling in her throat. Then she turned and walked away, blinking back tears. Jade found her at her desk 20 minutes later. Hey, talk to me. He won't listen. He thinks I doubted him. Did you? Claire closed her eyes. For 1 second, one horrible second, I wondered, and he saw it. Oh, honey. I need to fix this, Jade. I need to find out what happened to that bracelet and prove his crew had nothing to do with it. Jade pulled up a chair. Then let's figure it out. Who had access to the storage closet after the gala? The teardown crew, obviously, but also anyone with a building key, accounting, management. Honestly, like 20 people. Okay, so we start asking questions. Carefully. Thursday morning at 10:15, Claire caught the colleague from accounting in the hallway near the copy room. A guy named Derek, who'd made the comment about Marcus's crew. Derek, can I ask you something? He looked up from his phone. Sure. The comment you made about the teardown crew, did you see something specific, or were you just speculating? His expression shifted slightly. Uncomfortable. I mean, I didn't see anything, but it makes sense, right? They were the last ones handling the equipment. Except they logged everything as it went into storage, so unless you have actual evidence, maybe don't throw accusations around. Derek's face flushed. I was just trying to help. Help how? By damaging someone's reputation? He walked away without answering. Jade appeared beside Claire, holding 2 cups of coffee. That went well. He's hiding something. Or he's just a jerk who likes stirring drama. Maybe. But Claire's instincts were buzzing. Jade, do you remember seeing Derek at the gala? Yeah, he was there. Spent most of the night near the bar. Jade paused. Actually, I saw him talking to Ryan at one point. They seemed pretty friendly. Everything clicked into place. Ryan? What about him? He's been trying to get back in my life for months. He saw me with Marcus at the gala. He made that gross comment about role reversal. Claire's hands clenched. What if he started the rumors? What if he's trying to sabotage this? That's a serious accusation. I know, but it fits. Claire checked her watch. I'm going to talk to him. Claire, maybe think about this. I'm done thinking. I'm done letting fear run my choices. At 12:05 p.m., Claire walked into the cafe near the office where Ryan often had lunch. She found him at a corner table, working on his laptop. Claire? He smiled like nothing was wrong, like they were still friends. This is a nice surprise. She sat down across from him. Did you start the rumors about me and Marcus? His smile didn't waver. I don't know what you're talking about. Anonymous messages, comments about vendor renewals. Someone's been whispering about preferential treatment. Ryan closed his laptop. Well, it does look questionable. You dating the janitor, the facility's owner, while he works on your projects. We went through the proper channels. The bid was clean. Maybe, but people talk, Claire. They see what they see. He leaned back. I was just trying to protect you. You have a reputation to maintain. The condescension in his voice made her want to throw her coffee in his face. Instead, she kept her voice level. You don't get to protect me. We're done. We've been done for 6 months. Move on. Have we, though? Because you keep making poor choices. First that engagement breakdown, now this facilities guy. Maybe you need someone to remind you who you are. I know exactly who I am. That's why I left you. She stood up and walked out, heart pounding. But at least now she knew. Ryan was behind the rumors, and she could stop them. At 12:40 p.m., Claire knocked on Ellen's office door. Come in. Claire entered and closed the door behind her. I know who's been spreading rumors. It's Ryan Kincaid, my ex. He's been trying to sabotage my relationship with Marcus. Ellen set down her pen. Do you have proof? Not concrete proof, but he admitted to trying to protect me when I confronted him just now. And he was seen talking to Derek from accounting at the gala. Derek's the one who made the comment about Marcus's crew and the missing bracelet. What do you want me to do? I want to request formal oversight on the vendor process for this project. Nothing punitive, just transparency, so no one can claim favoritism. Ellen nodded slowly. That's actually smart. It protects everyone. And it stops the whispers. Consider it done. I'll implement oversight starting today. Ellen paused. Are you okay? Claire's throat tightened. I hurt Marcus. He thinks I doubted him. I need to make it right, but I don't know how. Start with the truth. Always start with the truth. That evening at 6:30, Claire stood outside Tasha's apartment, holding a small bag of pastries from the bakery near the office. She'd texted earlier, asking if they could talk. Tasha had agreed, but her response had been cool. Tasha opened the door in workout clothes, her expression wary. Hey, thanks for seeing me. They sat in Tasha's small kitchen. Claire set the pastries on the table but didn't open the bag. I need to apologize, Claire said. On Tuesday, there was a moment when I doubted Marcus, just for a second. But he saw it, and I hurt him. I'm so sorry. Tasha's expression was hard to read. What made you doubt him? Nothing rational, just fear, old patterns. The voice in my head that says people will disappoint you if you let them. Claire's voice cracked. But that's my issue, not his. He deserved better from me. So, what are you going to do about it? I'm going to prove the truth. I'm going to shut down the rumors, and I'm going to show up. Not just when things are easy, but when they're hard. Consistently. Pretty words are easy, Claire. Following through is harder. I know. That's why I'm not asking you to trust me right now. I'm asking for a chance to earn it. Tasha studied her for a long moment. Then her expression softened slightly. Marcus has been hurt before. By people who thought they were better than him. By people who saw him as less than. If you're going to be with him, you need to see him. Really see him. Not the assumptions, not the stereotypes. Him. I do see him. I promise you, I do. The doorbell rang. Tasha frowned. I'm not expecting anyone. She opened the door to reveal Jade, breathless and holding a large garment bag. Sorry to interrupt, Jade said, but this is important. Claire, this was delivered to the office after the gala. It got mixed in with the catering company's stuff, and they just returned it today. Claire stood up. What is it? Jade unzipped the bag. Inside was a dress. One of the staff members must have left it behind. And clipped to the dress strap, catching the light, was the missing bracelet. Claire's hand went to her mouth. Oh my God. It was just a mix-up, Jade said. Someone's dry cleaning got delivered to the office by mistake. The bracelet must have fallen into the bag during teardown. Tasha started laughing. You're kidding. I'm not. It was literally just an accident. No theft, no scandal, just a lost bracelet that finally turned up. Claire felt like crying and laughing at the same time. I need to call Ellen, right now. She pulled out her phone with shaking hands. Ellen answered on the second ring. Claire? The bracelet. We found it. It was in a garment bag that got delivered to the wrong place after the gala. No one stole it. It was just misplaced. Where is it now? Jade has it. We'll bring it to the office first thing tomorrow. Excellent. I'll log the correction and close this out. Ellen paused. I assume you're going to tell Marcus? Yes. Right now. Good. He deserves to know. Claire hung up and looked at Tasha and Jade. I need to find him. Tasha smiled. He's working late on the upper floors. Go. At 8:30 p.m., Claire stepped off the elevator onto the 14th floor. The space was quiet, most of the crew already gone for the day. But she could see light coming from the far corner, where Marcus was reviewing wall measurements. Marcus? He turned. His expression was still guarded, but he didn't walk away. Can we talk? She asked. About what? About Tuesday, about the bracelet, about everything. He set down his tape measure. I'm listening. Claire took a deep breath. First, the bracelet turned up. It was in a garment bag that got delivered to the wrong place. Your crew had nothing to do with it. It was just a mistake. Something in his shoulders relaxed slightly. Second, Claire continued, I owe you the biggest apology of my life. I paused. For 1 second, I doubted you, and that was wrong. I let my old fears and patterns take over, instead of trusting what I know about you. Do you know what it felt like? Marcus's voice was quiet, but intense. To see that look on your face, after everything we talked about, after I'd let you in? I can imagine, and I'm so sorry. You said you cared about seeing people, really seeing them. But in that moment, you saw what everyone else sees. The black guy who must have done something wrong. The words hit like a physical blow. You're right. And I hate that I did that. I hate that I hurt you. Marcus leaned against the wall. My whole life, people have made assumptions. Teachers who thought I couldn't be smart. Clients who talked over me. People who saw my skin before they saw my work. His voice cracked slightly. I thought you were different. I am different, or I'm trying to be. Claire stepped closer. I can't promise I'll never mess up again, but I promise I'll show up. I'll choose you. I'll fight for us instead of running when things get hard. How do I know that's true? You don't. Not yet. But give me a chance to prove it, please. They stood in silence for a long moment. The building settled around them, small creaks, distant sounds, the hum of the HVAC system. Finally, Marcus spoke. I need steady truth, Claire. Not perfect. Just steady. Can you give me that? Yes, I can. I will. And when people judge you, when your family questions why you're with me, when it gets uncomfortable, then I'll deal with it. Because this, us, it matters more than their opinions. Marcus looked at her for a long time. Then, slowly, he nodded. Okay, we try again, but slow and honest. Slow and honest, Claire repeated. I can do that. They didn't kiss, didn't fall into each other's arms, just stood in the quiet space, both of them a little broken and a lot hopeful. Tasha invited us to dinner Saturday, Claire said. Pasta at her place. Would you want to go? Yeah, I'd like that. They took the elevator down together. In the parking garage, they stood by Claire's car for a moment. Thank you, Marcus said quietly. For coming to find me, for apologizing, that took courage. You're worth the courage. He smiled, small but genuine. Then he walked to his van, and they drove away in separate directions. But Claire felt lighter than she had in days. Saturday evening arrived with clear skies and the smell of homemade sauce. Claire stood outside Tasha's apartment at 6:15, holding a bottle of wine and trying not to be nervous. Marcus opened the door. Hey, come in. The apartment was small but cozy. Motown played softly from a speaker. Tasha stood at the stove, stirring sauce and singing along to Marvin Gaye. Claire, perfect timing. This is almost ready. They ate at Tasha's small dining table, pasta with homemade marinara, garlic bread, and a simple salad. The conversation flowed easily. Tasha told stories about her nursing rotations and the ridiculous things patients said. Marcus shared a story about a client who'd insisted their office needed gold-plated light switches. Claire relaxed into the warmth of it. This wasn't performance. Wasn't trying to impress anyone. Just 3 people sharing a meal and enjoying each other's company. "So, Claire," Tasha said, twirling pasta on her fork. "Marcus says you have a vinyl collection?" "A small one. My grandmother left it to me. Mostly soul and Motown. We should have a listening party sometime. Marcus's collection is ridiculous." Marcus smiled. "It's not ridiculous. It's curated." "It's taking over your living room." They all laughed. At 8:10, Claire stood to leave. Tasha hugged her goodbye, a real hug, warm and welcoming. "Thank you for tonight," Claire said. "Thank you for being patient with us," Tasha replied. "With him?" In the doorway, Marcus reached for Claire's hand. She didn't let go right away, just held on, feeling the warmth of his palm against hers. "See you tomorrow?" he asked. "Tomorrow? The Riverside Walk?" "Perfect." Sunday afternoon, they met at the Riverside Park at 4 p.m. The weather was mild, the path busy with joggers and families. They walked slowly, talking about boundaries and expectations. "At work, we stay professional," Marcus said. "No question. But after hours, we're present, we're honest, we make time for each other." "Weekly family night with Tasha," Claire added. "I want to be part of that." "She'd like that." "And if Ryan or anyone else tries to cause problems?" "We face it together. No running, no hiding." Claire pulled out her phone and scrolled to Ryan's contact. Then, without ceremony, she deleted it. "Done." Marcus smiled. "You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did. I'm choosing us. That means letting go of things that don't serve us." They walked past the guitarist, past the food trucks, all the way to the footbridge that crossed the river. The water flowed beneath them, constant and steady. "I'm scared," Claire admitted. "Not of you, but of messing this up, of letting my fears win again." "I'm scared, too, of being hurt, of being seen as less than." Marcus turned to face her. "But I think we try anyway, because the scared feeling means it matters." "It does matter." He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. Their lips met in a kiss that was gentle and certain. No fireworks, no dramatic music. Just 2 people choosing each other in a quiet moment on a footbridge. When they pulled back, both of them were smiling. "Next Friday?" Claire said. "Dinner at my place? I'll cook, or try to cook. Fair warning, I'm not great at it." "I'd love that, and I'll bring backup food in case it's a disaster." She laughed. Smart man. They walked back along the path as the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. People passed them, other couples, families, friends, all living their own stories. Claire thought about her family, who would probably have opinions about Marcus, about the office, where gossip would always exist, about all the challenges that would come. But right now, walking beside him with their hands loosely linked, she felt ready. Not because everything was perfect, but because they'd already been through the hard part, the doubt, the hurt, the choice to try again, and come through on the other side. "What are you thinking?" Marcus asked. "I'm thinking this feels right, steady and real." "Yeah." He squeezed her hand gently. "It does." They reached the parking area as the streetlights began to flicker on. One by one, the lights illuminated the path, showing the way forward. "See you Friday?" Marcus said. "See you Friday?" They parted with another brief kiss, then drove toward their separate homes. But the connection between them felt solid now, built on truth and apology and the daily choice to show up. Claire drove through the city streets, Motown playing softly from her speakers. The playlist she'd made, the one Marcus was probably listening to right now in his car. She thought about her grandmother, who'd taught her to love these old songs, who'd shown her that real love was built in small moments, Sunday dinners, shared music, steady presence. Her phone buzzed at a red light. A text from Marcus. "Thank you for today." She smiled and typed back. "Thank you for giving us another chance." The light turned green. Claire drove forward, toward home, toward next Friday, toward whatever came next. The story wasn't finished. There would be more challenges, more moments of doubt, more times when courage would be required. But they'd start there, together, one day at a time. And that felt like exactly enough. Friday evening came with nervous energy. Claire stood in her kitchen at 5:30 p.m., staring at the chicken breast she'd bought and the recipe she'd printed out. Lemon herb chicken with roasted vegetables. It looked simple on paper. Her phone buzzed. Marcus. "Leaving now. Need me to pick anything up?" She smiled and typed back. "Just yourself, and maybe that backup food you mentioned." "Already in the car. See you soon." Claire checked the apartment one more time. Candles on the coffee table. Music queued up. Table set with her grandmother's dishes. Everything felt right. The doorbell rang at 6:15. She opened it to find Marcus holding a pizza box and wearing a soft smile. "Just in case," he said. "Smart man." She stepped aside to let him in. He looked around the apartment with interest. Bookshelves filled with novels and marketing textbooks, framed photos of her grandmother, the vinyl collection on a small shelf near the window. "This is nice," he said. "Feels like you." "Is that a compliment?" "Definitely." They worked together in the kitchen. Claire handled the chicken while Marcus prepped the vegetables. The conversation flowed easily. Stories about work, updates on Tasha's finals, plans for the 14th floor reveal next week. "How's your family handling the holidays?" Marcus asked, chopping bell peppers. Claire hesitated. "I haven't told them about you yet." He went still. "Why not?" "Because I wanted to make sure this was real first, that we were solid." She set down the tongs. "My mother has opinions about everything. My father's more laid back, but he still has expectations. I didn't want to deal with their judgment until I knew for certain how I felt." "And how do you feel?" "Like this matters, like you matter." She met his eyes. "I'm going to tell them, soon. I just needed to be ready." Marcus nodded slowly. "I get it, but I need to know, when they push back, and they probably will, are you going to stand firm?" "Yes, absolutely yes." "Okay." He returned to the vegetables. "Then we'll handle it together, when you're ready." The chicken turned out better than expected. They ate at the small table, sharing bites and laughing at Tasha's latest text about a difficult professor. The pizza sat forgotten in its box. After dinner, they moved to the couch. Marcus noticed the record player in the corner. "Does it work?" "It does. Want to hear something?" "Always." Claire pulled out a Nina Simone record and set it spinning. "Feeling good," filled the apartment, Nina's voice rich and powerful. Marcus leaned back, eyes closed. "This is perfect." They sat like that for a while, just listening. No pressure to talk. No need to fill the silence. Just presence. "Can I ask you something?" Claire said during the pause between tracks. "Go ahead." "What do you want? Long term, I mean. Not just with us. With your life." Marcus opened his eyes. "I want to grow the business without losing sight of why I started it. I want to take care of Tasha until she doesn't need taking care of anymore. I want a life that feels real, not flashy or impressive, just real." He looked at her. "What about you?" "I want work that matters. I want to build something I'm proud of. And I want someone who sees me, really sees me, and chooses to stay anyway." "I see you," Marcus said quietly. "All of you. Not just the polished marketing director. The woman who gets nervous before family dinners. The one who makes playlists and overthinks text messages. The one who's brave enough to apologize when she's wrong. Claire's throat tightened. That's the most romantic thing anyone's ever said to me. It's just the truth. They kissed then, slow and unhurried. When they pulled apart, Claire rested her forehead against his. Stay, she whispered. Not for anything dramatic. Just stay and listen to records with me. I'd like that. They spent the rest of the evening on the couch, music playing softly, talking about everything and nothing. Marcus told her about the building he'd bought last year, the one he was slowly renovating in his spare time. Claire shared her dream of running her own event company someday, something smaller and more personal than corporate galas. At 10:30, Marcus checked his watch. I should probably go. Early shift tomorrow. Okay. At the door, he pulled her into a hug. Thank you. For tonight. For letting me in. Thank you for showing up. For being patient with me. They kissed goodnight, and Claire watched him walk down the hallway before closing the door. The apartment felt warm and lived in, the dishes still in the sink, Nina Simone still spinning on the turntable. She cleaned up slowly, savoring the feeling of contentment that settled over her. This was what love looked like in real life. Not grand gestures or dramatic declarations, just shared meals and honest conversations and the choice to keep showing up. Her phone buzzed as she dried the last dish. Marcus. Made it home. Tonight was perfect. She smiled and replied, It really was. Monday morning brought a surprise. Claire arrived at her desk to find an email from her mother. Lunch this week? I'm in town Wednesday. Call me. Claire's stomach nodded. Her mother didn't just ask for lunch. She summoned you to lunch and expected compliance. She called during her coffee break. Claire, darling, Wednesday at 1. That new place downtown. Her mother's voice was crisp and efficient. We need to discuss the family holiday party. I'm putting you in charge of the silent auction. Mom, I have a job. I can't just take on family projects. Of course you can. You're wonderful at events. It's settled. See you Wednesday. The call ended before Claire could protest further. She texted Marcus. Family drama incoming. My mother wants lunch. His response came quickly. Want backup? Not yet, but soon, I promise. Wednesday arrived too fast. Claire met her mother at the restaurant, a sleek, expensive place with white tablecloths and a wine list longer than the menu. Her mother looked elegant as always, wearing pearls and a designer suit. Claire, you look tired. Thanks, Mom. Good to see you too. They ordered. Her mother launched into details about the holiday party, the guest list, the auction items she'd already secured. Claire half listened, nodding at appropriate moments. Then her mother paused. You seem distracted. Is everything all right? Everything's fine. Are you seeing anyone? Claire's heart jumped. Why do you ask? Because you have that look, the one you get when you're keeping secrets. Her mother sipped her wine. Is it someone appropriate? Please tell me you're not dating another charity case. Ryan wasn't a charity case. He was a mistake. Well, yes, but at least he came from a good family. Claire set down her fork. I am seeing someone. His name is Marcus. He owns a facilities management company. He's smart, kind, hardworking, and he treats me with respect. Her mother's expression shifted slightly. Facilities management, how practical. He's also black, if that's what you're really asking. Silence stretched across the table. Other diners chatted around them, unaware of the tension building between mother and daughter. I see, her mother said finally. And you think this is wise? Dating someone so different from our world? Our world isn't the only world, Mom. And frankly, I like his world better. Claire, I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm trying to protect you. People will talk. They'll judge. Your father's business associates, our friends, Let them talk. Let them judge. I'm done living for other people's approval. Her mother looked genuinely surprised. When did you become so defiant? I'm not defiant. I'm just choosing myself for once. Choosing what makes me happy instead of what makes you comfortable. They finished lunch in strained silence. When the check came, her mother paid without comment. Outside the restaurant, her mother paused. Bring him to the holiday party. Claire blinked. What? If this is serious, if you're committed to this path, then bring him. Let us meet him properly. Your father will want to form his own opinion. You're serious? I am. But Claire... Her mother's expression softened slightly. Be prepared. Not everyone will be kind. Not everyone will understand. I know, but he's worth it. Her mother nodded once. Then I suppose I'll see you both in December? She walked away, heels clicking against the sidewalk. Claire stood there for a moment, processing what had just happened. It wasn't approval, but it was a door opening, a possibility. She texted Marcus immediately. My mother wants to meet you. Family holiday party in December. Are you up for it? His response came 5 minutes later. If you are, I am. We do this together. The 14th floor reveal happened the following Thursday. Ellen had scheduled a walkthrough for all the department heads, and Claire spent the morning making sure every detail was perfect. The transformation was stunning. The new lighting made the space feel twice as large. The fresh paint, soft grays and warm whites, created an atmosphere that was professional but welcoming. Marcus's crew had installed new outlets exactly where they were needed, fixed the uneven flooring, and even added a few touches Claire hadn't requested, like built-in charging stations near the windows. This is exceptional work, Ellen said, walking the space with obvious approval. Marcus, your attention to detail is remarkable. Marcus nodded, accepting the praise without false modesty. Thank you. My crew takes pride in what we do. It shows. Ellen turned to Claire. And your vision brought it all together. This is exactly what we needed. After the walkthrough, Claire found Marcus packing up his tools near the elevator bank. You did something amazing here, she said. We did something amazing. This was a team effort. Still, thank you for the work, for staying professional through all the drama, for not giving up on us. He smiled. I wasn't going to give up that easily. Good, because I need you to survive a party with my family in December. I'll wear my best suit. You'll need armor. They both laughed. Then Marcus's expression grew serious. Claire, I know this won't be easy. Meeting your family, dealing with their expectations. But I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. I'm not going to apologize for who I am or how I make my living. I don't want you to. I want you to be exactly yourself. That's who I fell for. The word hung in the air between them. Fell for? Not quite love, but close. Close enough to feel significant. Yeah, Marcus said softly. Same. December arrived with cold winds and early darkness. The holiday party was scheduled for the second Saturday at Claire's parents' estate outside the city. Claire spent the week mentally preparing Marcus for what to expect. My father will ask about your business, profit margins, growth plans, that kind of thing. He can't help himself. I can handle business questions. My mother will be polite but distant, at least at first. She needs time to adjust to things that don't fit her worldview. Okay. And my Aunt Carol will probably say something inappropriate. She always does. Just ignore her. Marcus laughed. You're making this sound terrifying. It kind of is, but you'll have me. And Jade, I invited her for moral support. Smart. Saturday evening, they drove to the estate together. Marcus wore a dark gray suit that fit him perfectly. Claire wore a burgundy dress and her grandmother's pearl earrings. You look beautiful, Marcus said as they pulled up the long driveway. "You look pretty great yourself." The estate was lit up like a movie set. White lights in the trees, ice sculptures near the entrance, servers circulating with champagne. Everything screamed money and tradition. Claire's mother greeted them in the foyer. She extended her hand to Marcus with a practiced smile. "You must be Marcus. Welcome." "Thank you for having me, Mrs. Whitmore." "Please, call me Barbara." She studied him for a moment, then nodded. "Come in. Let me introduce you to Claire's father." David Whitmore stood near the bar, talking with other men in expensive suits. He was tall and silver-haired, with Claire's eyes and a commanding presence. "David, this is Marcus Hale, Claire's friend." Claire winced at the word choice, but Marcus just extended his hand. "Mr. Whitmore, good to meet you." David shook his hand firmly. "Marcus, Claire tells me you own a facilities management company?" "Yes, sir. Started 6 years ago. We handle commercial buildings throughout the city." "Growth trajectory?" 20% year over year. We just secured 3 new contracts this quarter." David's eyebrows rose. "Impressive. What's your background?" "I learned building maintenance from my uncle, worked my way through community college, saved everything I could, and bought my first van when I was 26. "Self-made, then?" "Yes, sir." Something in David's expression shifted. Not quite approval, but respect. "Well, good for you. That takes discipline." They talked business for another 10 minutes. Claire relaxed slightly. Her father could be intimidating, but he respected hard work and smart planning. Marcus held his own, answering questions confidently without arrogance. Jade found Claire near the buffet table. "How's it going?" "Better than expected. Dad's actually engaging with him." "And your mom?" "Still processing, but she's being polite." The evening progressed smoothly. Marcus met aunts and uncles, cousins, and family friends. Some were warm, some were curious. A few were coolly polite in a way that made their judgment clear. Aunt Carol, predictably, cornered them near the Christmas tree. "So, Marcus, what exactly do you do? Claire said something about janitor work?" "I own a facilities management company. We handle maintenance and repairs for commercial buildings." "Oh, how practical." Carol sipped her champagne. Claire's father was hoping she'd marry someone in finance or law. Something with real prestige. Claire opened her mouth to respond, but Marcus beat her to it. "I think Claire's capable of making her own choices about who she spends her life with. She doesn't need her father's approval or anyone else's." Carol blinked, clearly not used to being challenged. Marcus continued, his tone pleasant but firm. "And with respect, prestige isn't the same as value. I work hard, I treat people well, and I build things that last. That matters more to me than a fancy title." "Well, I suppose that's one perspective." She drifted away, and Claire fought the urge to laugh. "That was amazing. Was it too much?" "It was perfect." Later, they stepped outside onto the terrace. The December air was cold and sharp, but the lights from the party created a warm glow. "Thank you," Claire said, "for coming tonight, for handling my family with grace." "They're not so bad. Your dad's actually pretty reasonable. Your mom's trying, and Aunt Carol is just a nightmare?" "I was going to say traditional, but nightmare works too." They laughed together, breath visible in the cold air. "I love you," Claire said suddenly. The words came out without planning, without hesitation. Just truth. Marcus went still, then smiled. "Yeah? Yeah, I love you. You don't have to say it back. I just wanted you to know." He pulled her close, wrapping his arms around her. "I love you too. Have for a while now. Just wasn't sure when to say it. Now works." They kissed on the terrace while the party continued inside. No audience, no performance, Just two people choosing each other despite the challenges, despite the differences, despite everything that made it complicated. When they pulled apart, Claire was smiling. Ready to go back in? With you? Always. 3 weeks later, on a quiet Sunday afternoon, Claire and Marcus sat on his couch reviewing paint samples for the building he was renovating. Tasha was at the kitchen table, studying for finals, occasionally throwing in her opinions about color choices. "That blue's too dark," Tasha said without looking up from her textbook. "I like the dark blue," Marcus protested. "It's a rental property, not a cave. Go with the lighter one." Claire laughed. "I'm with Tasha. The lighter blue opens up the space." Marcus sighed dramatically. "Fine, lighter blue it is, but I'm choosing the kitchen hardware." "Deal." This had become their rhythm over the past month. Weekly dinners with Tasha, Sunday afternoons working on projects together, weeknight dates that were casual and comfortable, tacos by the river, walks through the city, quiet evenings listening to records. At work, they maintained professional boundaries. Claire handled marketing projects. Marcus's company won contracts based on merit and competitive bids. The gossip had died down when nothing scandalous happened, when the relationship proved steady and real rather than dramatic. Ryan had transferred to the company's West Coast office in November. No one missed him. Claire's phone buzzed, a text from her mother. "Your father and I would like to have you both for dinner next month. Nothing formal, just family." She showed Marcus the message. "Progress?" "Definitely progress." He typed something on his own phone. "I just texted Tasha about spring break. She wants to take a trip. Was thinking maybe we could all go somewhere together? Like a family vacation? If that's not too weird?" Claire felt warmth spread through her chest. "That's not weird at all. That's perfect." They spent the rest of the afternoon choosing paint colors, arguing good-naturedly about hardware finishes, and making plans for the future. Not huge, dramatic plans, just small, steady steps forward. As the sun began to set, Marcus pulled Claire close on the couch. She rested her head on his shoulder, feeling completely at peace. "This is nice," she murmured. "Yeah, it is." Tasha looked up from her textbook. "You two are disgustingly cute." "Jealous?" Marcus teased. "Absolutely. Where's my perfect romance?" "Tasha, you're 24. You have time," says the old man of 32. They all laughed, the kind of easy, comfortable laughter that comes from being truly known and accepted. Claire thought about the journey that had brought them here, the assumptions she'd made, the moment of doubt that had almost broken them, the choice to apologize and try again. The steady work of building trust. It hadn't been easy. It hadn't been perfect. But it had been real. And that was better than perfect. That evening, as Claire drove home through the city streets, she thought about her grandmother, about Sunday, dinners, and vinyl records, and the way love showed up in small, consistent ways. She thought about Marcus, who'd taught her what it meant to really see someone, to look past roles and assumptions and see the person underneath. She thought about Tasha, who'd challenged her to prove her commitment through actions, not just words. And she thought about herself, the woman who'd been afraid to trust, afraid to be vulnerable, afraid to choose something real over something comfortable. That woman was still there, but she was braver now, stronger, more willing to risk her heart for the possibility of genuine connection. Her phone buzzed at a red light. "Marcus. Drive safe. Love you." She smiled and typed back, "Love you too. See you tomorrow." The light turned green. Claire drove forward toward home, toward tomorrow, toward whatever came next. The future wasn't guaranteed. There would be challenges ahead, family dynamics to navigate, career decisions to make. The everyday work of choosing each other again and again. But they'd face it together. One day at a time. One choice at a time. And that felt like exactly enough. Actually, it felt like everything. The end.